So chances are you've probably heard about the recent recall of a few well-known sunscreen brands because they were found to contain low levels of benzene. Now that's a chemical that's linked to blood cancers, and consumers are saying, putting pressure on brands and retailers to stop using certain toxic chemicals in their products. Beauty expert Mickey Williams has 3 P's for you to avoid.
So I say, look for 3 P's just to start off. Parabens, phthalates, which doesn't really, isn't pronounced with a P, and also PFAs. But parabens are something that you can easily avoid in your products because they usually are listed on the label. You have like isopropyl. I can't say these words perfectly, but if you go online and you look for the ingredients that are parabens, you can easily see those on the back of the labels of the brands. There's a lot of different kind of pseudo words that mean parabens. So looking for the label and finding out those words, you can go to the website, my website, and see them as well. But what's really interesting is that we've seen so many brands knock out parabens, and parabens can really increase the hormones in our, can really kind of like disrupt the hormones in our bodies. And they're things that we really generally don't want to be putting on, especially if we're using them on lotions and if we're using them on our daily creams and things like such. So you'll find a lot of brands that are already like, nope, we're paraben free. And I think that there's something great. I found this on the CVS, the Walgreens, the Target. You can actually go into their search window and you can type paraben free and it'll lay out a list of paraben free products.
Wow, and it's really affecting us. I mean, that much that there's this huge concern.
Yeah, we've been using them in our products since the 1920s. So there have been tons and tons and tons of research that are really bringing this back. I mean, obviously it can increase the risk of cancer, but it has a lot of like hormonal effects on our bodies too. And what parabens do actually, and this is something for you to know, is they extend the life of your product. They're like they're not a natural, they're a chemical preservative. So the thing that you're going to look for when you do find paraben or paraben-free products is that you might not have the longest shelf life. So don't buy that giant shampoo that comes, it's going to last you 3 years because it's probably loaded with parabens. Buy something that's, you're going to use and you're going to move through quickly because you don't want your products to expire either. Because then
exactly. All right, what about phthalates?
Phthalates are really interesting because these are a group of chemicals often called as plasticizers. And what they do is they make like plastics more durable. So you're going to find this in a ton of like your oils, your soaps, your shampoos, all these different things, right? And they're impossible to avoid. They found them in our milks. They found them in our meats. They found them in our laundry detergent. They're everywhere. So again, we're seeing, yes.
So what are they, Mickey, and why do we need to stay away from them?
They're just there's so much, they're creating plastics that are more durable, whether they're in your Ziploc baggie, whether they're here, in your containers that you take your lunch to every day. They're creating that very durable plastic, but we're finding them in our food group, in our foods, we're finding them in our body care products. Why should we avoid them? They have really, really, really been linked to really disrupting hormonal like changes, especially in male reproductive. If you can avoid putting them on your body daily with that kind of, lotions and things like that, just being able to eliminate them. And you won't find them on the label. You won't find them on the label.
Extra exposure, that makes sense. What about PFAs? What are they and why do we want to avoid them?
There were PFCs formerly. PFAs you'll find, they're used in cosmetics. They're basically another durability product, that will extend the life. But what you're seeing, when you see something that says long wear or your waterproof mascara, chances are it has PFAs in it. And these have really been linked to, again, long-term studies have been linked this back to being a carcinogen. So if you can find something that's PFA free, that's great. You're not going to see PFAs saying, a lot of brands aren't listing that they're PFA free yet. You
said the best thing to do is to look for things that say PFA, phthalate, and benzene or paraben free, right?
Yes. And I have to say, I'm really impressed with Whole Foods. Whole Foods has eliminated 100+ ingredients that have been known to cause toxins and toxic and irritating products. They have banned 100 plus products. So if you are looking for a new product, say you do want to get a sunscreen and you want to get a spray sunscreen, or if you want to go and get a new, a stretch mark cream for your belly, if you have just, become pregnant, you can go in there and feel rest assured that they're going to have eliminated the PFAs. They have eliminated the phthalates, and they have eliminated the parabens from any products that are on their shelves.
Now we are armed with information, so thanks to Mickey for that.